Welcome to this awesome Tuesday, this meditation. We are rocking and rolling. Give me a moment. All right. So, what I want for all of you to do is go ahead, reach your arms up in the air, then stretch them out as wide as you can. Rotate a little bit through the spine. If you can go a full, what is that, 90 degrees, I guess, for full rotation back and forth. Then roll your shoulders. Welcome, welcome. Go ahead, wiggle your toes. Let's do a nice roll through the wrist, one direction, then switching to the other. Go ahead and stretch your legs out in front of you if you're not walking. And give your feet a flex, bringing the toes all the way to the knees. And squeeze through the thighs. And then point the toes, squeeze through the thighs again, and relax. All right. We are ready. Here we go. Nice deep breath in. Welcome, welcome. Today is meditation. We are going to meet the Metaraya. And so much story behind this name and the Metatron. And it's going to continue to share and tell itself. However, you know me, I love to bring us into the experience of it prior to doing anything else. And so I'm just going to give you this hint that the Metaraya are the feminine Metatron, if you will. And Metatron meaning full spectrum of light frequency, full spectrum of divine energy, your starseed, your blueprint, and it expresses in both masculine and feminine, in both force and finesse, in both putting it out there and then exploring the within. And the Metaraya is a name that's been with me for years now and can't fully sync it up with how it properly fits. And we've been in a journey lately of exploring the Metatron from the solar masculine perspective. And today we are moving into the solar feminine. So with that, from that solar feminine full spectrum light perspective, we're going to explore that through that of the Metaraya. Typically, we find it through the Venus temples. Today, it's the Metaraya. So nice deep breath in, breathing all the way in, raising the shoulders, raising the chest, really drawing, using that abdomen to draw the oxygen in. Nice exhale out. And you can even allow your hands to like rise up with the inhale, palms up, and then push out with the downhill to exhale. So breathing in, rising up, pushing the field of energy around you up, and then breathing out, exhaling. Again, using the hands to push the energy around inside of the aura. And let's go ahead and use your subtle energy here to just feel the aura, right? To feel some of the subtle energy, the subtle vibration, feeling into the aura in this moment. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Notice if your aura feels like it's tight and collapsed or open and expansive. We just gave it some waking up energy. So hopefully it should be opening up. Oftentimes when we're starting the day, it can be there, but stagnant, right? Not quite fully activated yet. All right. So the aura serves us in layers, like layers of filters. And I share that because as we connect to the divine feminine energetics within our system and the full spectrum of light, it also serves in layers. It's fragmented, it's pieces that come together to make a whole. And so go ahead, let's do one more, just feeling our energy body and its many layers, maybe inhaling and pushing the hands out. So we're opening the curtains on our aura and then drawing in And pushing the hands out again as you inhale and drawing in. There we go. Everybody's got collapsed auras today, so we're working them. Okay, here we go. This inhale, let's go ahead and do our light link, activating, imagining the sun. So you've just stepped outside for the first time today, feeling that sun shining down on you. So it's flooding out your inner vision. And we're going to take the light link. We're going to skip straight into a star link. So I want to have you go from just imagining the sun shining on your face and feeling its warmth. We've got a lot of support today with the birds around here, if you can hear them. They're making themselves known. New field of energy, that's why. And as you shift from imagining the sun shining down on your face, I want to have you imagine swimming into the sun as though the sun is coming closer and closer and closer. Do 4 breaths here, just envisioning that sun, so much so that you in the sun, you are completely encompassed in the center of the sun by the 4th breath. And if you aren't much of a visual person, it should just be like as though the hairs on the top of your head feel more awake and more alive. If you are visual, imagining an all white room around you. Beautiful. Go ahead and roll the shoulders. The second part of any light link or star link. Light link, we're just connecting to the sun, then the earth, and then our heart. Star link, we're actually bringing the sun into our center vision. But before we do that, I want to have you feel the earth beneath your feet as though you're standing on that front step. This will shift. If you can hear this bird, it's going crazy. She's going crazy. Feeling the earth beneath your feet. So where does it take you to the moment that you feel that shift? When you shift your focus to the earth, are your feet right here in the room and in the moment? Or are you transported to the beach? Do you feel your aura and the base of your aura? And does it feel like it's been cleaned out as you've woken it up and it's ready for a drain to be popped open? To just flush it out from all that sunlight that's been pouring in. And notice now, this is a subtle nuance, a subtle tweak. Go ahead and take your time here. Feeling that shift in frequency as you feel the earth open, imagining the sun dropping into the center of your mind, right? So it's no longer out there. We brought it into us. We were then in this all white room that tingles on the top of our head. And then as though like the shower hitting the top of your mind and that light just melts into the center of your mind. Beautiful, doing great from the center of your mind. Now, where have your feet taken you, toggling from one to the next? Mind to the earth. As you feel your feet this time, notice, are they sinking into the earth? Do you feel grass beneath your toes? Do you feel the sand wiggling between your toes? Or do you feel like a rocky mountainside or soft pine needles beneath your feet? And notice that the deeper you imagine your feet going, the more that sun, that orb of light anchors into your center vision. And if you aren't as visual, or if you are visual, it feels like a light bulb turning on. If you are not as visual, it'll just feel like a deep relaxation and also a waking up as though you can feel if someone were to pass their hand or be standing behind you, as though you can feel your peripheral much more acutely. And again, feeling the feet, and on the count of 3 or the 3rd breath, We're going to just envision releasing all of the density, all of the challenge down into the earth, like we've opened that drain and we're just letting it flush all the way down and through. On the third breath, breathing in and out. 1, exhale, big exhale. 2, inhale, exhale, doing good. And 3. And on this exhale, taking all the old, already processed, already utilized information and sending it like we just flushed, right? Everything is just flushing out. And as it does, feeling that orb of light dropping from the mind into the heart, all the way down and through. Breathing in and out. In and out. And feeling your feet sinking into the earth all the way down, sending a grounding cord all the way down and into the earth. And as it runs all the way down and into the earth, you feel that orb dropping all the way down, deeper into your heart. We are shifting through the layers. That was a new big opening. You could hear the bird. It just left, not because of anything I did or you did. Actually, it is because we just entered an entirely new frequency and field of energy. We're working the Metaraya. It's a big earth womb frequency. And I find oftentimes the energy gets really like anything new, like frenetic and excited. And so I want to have you from this deep, deep space in the earth begin to tune into the heartbeat here. Feel the heartbeat of the earth, like sound of the ocean, wind in the trees. Let yourself find that rhythm and that frequency. Perfect. All right, everybody's ready to roll. We're going to do some big magic today. Just letting yourself glide, letting yourself stay present with whatever imagery is coming through, envisioning that orb of light shining like a light bulb on inside of your mind, inside of your heart, and in just a moment, inside of your belly. Go ahead and feel that crystal quartz beneath your feet, with that grounding cord, silver thread wrapped around tightly that crystal quartz at the center of the earth, or maybe you're standing in a massive pool of water, the ocean, encircling your feet and its waves being created, generated by the heartbeat of the earth. Inhale and exhale. Are we ready? Wherever you are, whatever you've been syncing with, it's time to shift the field, shift our focus again. Everything is perfect. You've been doing it great. A lot of different energy coming in today, and also new timelines on a celestial level. Huge, huge solar flares. The Schumann resonance has been shifting. Everything is new. Never mind that we are approaching Jupiter, which we're going to work with that wave of consciousness tomorrow. Whew, are we ready? I want to have you come to imagine from wherever you envision your feet standing that a stone, an ancient stone, is rising up, maybe through the sand, through the grass, through your feet. Maybe you're instantly transported. You just know that the stone before you has been weathered. It is timeless. In fact, to even put a time on it would be doing it a disservice, because from this stone, you have the capacity. It is point of traveling out of space and time and through the linear dimension, across timelines. And as that stone rises up, I just want to have you sync up with your feet, standing on that stone. Notice if it's gray, if it's brown, if it's etched, if it has a mosaic. Just a small circular stone is all we need. A floor like a pedestal rising up out of the ground. And as it does, it raises with you, right? Like it's as though we're coming into a different dimensional space, appearing all around us. And suddenly that stone with our consciousness is coming, sinking into a dimensional realm, a temple, if you will, that you have journeyed to. It's a part of you, actually. I'm not taking you anywhere you haven't been many times before or stepped through in meditative dimensional space. It's just we often will skip over this one unless you do my work and you've been in here many times. This is the temple of the Hara. It's the back of your Hara chakra. And this stone is going to take us deep into the realm of the Metaraya. You could think of the womb consciousness, the full spectrum light, not only in layers of light frequency and fractals and fragmentations, but you could think of it also as a lineage from generation to generation, soul line as well as your genetic line that gets passed through. The Metatron, the masculine, is like the neural network of the brain. So in many ways, it's as though we're syncing up with the neural network or the energetic network, if you will, like Russian nesting dolls, one inside of the next, inside of the next, carrying us through the millennia, through your soul's multiple incarnations. This is the temple of the Hara. It is the portal point to the beyond, where the supernal mind, the cosmic consciousness and ray enters creation and comes into form for both men and women. It's the womb wisdom, the waters of creation, and it's where we and how we harness our own miraculous powers of creation beyond just being able to conceive or be part of the conception process. Is where the ideas that you possess, the dreams and the desires birth from and are implanted into. So let's go ahead from this chakra and from this temple. I'm going to have you connect to the floor that is appearing around you now. We started with just our feet on a stone, and now a circular experience of the floor starting to in layers, much like rings on a tree, etched in stone. Maybe your floor is marble, maybe it's granite, maybe it's glass and luminescent light, depending on what frequency you're coming in through. These are all different dimensions, the way we envision, even the marble. It's going to take us more so into like a Greek filtering. The granite, more so like an Egyptian filtering of stone or dirt floor or a forest floor. Taking us even further back. I want you to take your time, fully syncing this up, and maybe you're seeing all of it. And then that glass, crystal clear floor with luminescent light in concentric rings around you. Into the quantum, into your fifth dimensional realm. Notice how just in doing this exercise and calling on these different energy centers, we've targeted the different layers, right? We've explored the different layers of the astral field, the astral realm, which we're not going to get into in this moment because we've got somewhere to go, but we're taking our time getting there because we should enjoy this journey. You should know this temple. It is yours. All of these different layers. You may even be connecting to it through, like, you may see some gardens, some reflection pools as you come in deeper and deeper. The core at the center, a reflection pool forming where the stone had been. The waters rising out of the center of the temple. And in there, the center of this reflection pool that is rising up, much like your stone, a flame rises in the center of the reflection pool, a flame burning. So for my peeps that are less visual and much more sensory, feel into your root, feel into the body, feel into an expansion through the belly, right? And so the breath, nice deep belly breath, and the spine, some movement around the spine, maybe the tailbone sensation, feeling like it's opening, and also through the shoulder blades, some wings, some energy just starting to surge in. Sure to anchor that tail. Sure to anchor that tail for everyone. We now come back into our temple, having taken shape and form. Now you walking in, seeing the full scene, a circular temple with that reflection pool, almost as though like a pool that you would dip your hands into to purify, a flame burning. It may even be elevated on an altar now. Notice as you came back in, we jumped out to the body for a moment, and as you came back in, your temple altered as well. Notice we are toggling. You guys are doing a great job toggling between third dimension and fifth dimension, a little bit of fourth dimension thrown in. Don't worry about what each is. Just know that we're playing with all of them, bringing your mind into coherence and creating coherence between the dimensions. In just a moment, we are going to lock in such a big way. You're going to love this. Now, as we sit in the center or stand in the center of this temple, I want to have you envision dipping your hands, cupping your hands into the water, and then splashing your face. If you are one of my sensuals, imagine cold water splashing across the face. And now dipping the hands in and taking a drink. This is the Mare, the waters of creation. And you in this moment are attuning to the Metaraya, as well as purifying. This is pure flame frequency. Your womb consciousness, and within the waters of the womb, the flame of the new is created, is formed. All right, here we go. Everybody's synced up, ready. Again, if you're sensual, envisioning the heat of the flame that's burning before you, the waters. As we now envision this temple, right? That it's circular, much like the stone, the pillar that you rose into this frequency in. Now we are going to allow this frequency to rise up your temple, seemingly the sky that had been a ceiling before opens above you. Infinite cosmic plane, stars all around. and almost like a cloudiness, as though you're passing through the Milky Way, or it may look like the aurora borealis. Colors swirling all around you. Greens, deep purples in a cloud-like nature. Magentas, deep reds, and golds. And almost as though a wind is blowing, and on the wind, the colors begin to swirl. And you notice that you are rising up out of the ocean, of the timeline of Earth, of the Gaia, feeling yourself rising out of the Gaia's waters, out of the ocean, into those celestial skies. And as we come out of those, we come through the flames, the oceans of the flames, the pure light fields that again hover like the aurora borealis just around you. Now your entire temple acting, serving as that pillar rising up through the ocean and into the ocean of light, spectrum, and frequency. You can see the light like clouds of colors swirling around. You can begin to see the thread that's been stitched like a spider's web all around you. So there's a net or a veil that you're coming up to, and as though you're gazing up upon it, it's like we're coming in closer to the cosmos, and all those stars you had seen in the distance, you can now see are serving an integral neural network of the cosmic mind. And yet, as you rise up, you can see these different layers on layers of veils being represented by those clouds of color, like the aurora borealis, hovering, you in the midst of them. So you're in layers of fabric and veils. You could swim your way through them, or imagine you're pushing your way through different curtains of energy. Layer upon layer, a vast ocean, like we're skimming, where if we were to imagine cream on the top of a latte, or the film, the milk, right? And so these are layered on top of the ocean and the waters of creation. And as you gaze down at those waters of creation now, you don't see actual ocean, you envision luminescent light. And from here, it's as though you can envision each layer of cloud, different timelines, different threads woven and stitching themselves up and into that neural network of the Metatron, of the cosmos. These threads representing the Metaraya, all being stitched and woven into one big celestial thread. So from this, we're going to use the analogy of cotton candy. As cotton candy machine swirls, you stick a stick in and then roll it around, and you get all this delicious, sweet, textured, right? Like it melts in your mouth, but there's thin little gossamer, that's the word I want, gossamer-like strand. And so as you call your purpose and your intention into form, your desire to be you, to be more, to whatever it is, your consciousness of you and of all the soul lines you've lived and walked, imagining these threads starting to organize, starting to twist, much like the cotton candy twists around that pillar, around that stick, right? The stick is your intention and your desire. And those threads all begin to weave into a greater thread. The threads, your desire for time, for creation to bring into form. Feeling this light being organized like blood vessels in the body, starting to take form, starting to sync up. Your visual, if you need one to stick to, is just spinning of a yarn, right? Coming together, weaving a thread into being. And those threads representing the Metaraya. We are the Metaraya, the supernal cosmic womb, threads of light like gossamer, beaming through nothingness to you. Your consciousness, your will, your desire to bring into form, seated in the womb of creation, the light not yet born. We are the Metaraya, stitched into the fabric of time through your heart's strongest desires. Creation made mine. Go ahead and breathe here as you continue focusing in on the threads. Noticing that these threads, as they spin and twirl, begin to take on a helical nature, like the DNA in your cells. And you could even begin to envision one big thread, like a cord, multiple fiber optic cords coming together. Now, making up the center, the pillar, cotton candy stick, at the center of your aura, at the center of your toric field. And as you do, now beginning to see and envision, as you come into the aura, this dimensional layer of all of these threads woven out like blood vessels through your aura and through the toric field. That center cotton candy stick, holding them all together. The donut hole, if you will, that is your soul line. Doing great. Just continue to breathe. If you are sensual, less visual and more sensual in the body, feeling the different layers of your aura opening up. So just begin to track on how far out you can sense the room, what you can feel, and then what you can sense outside of the room. And for my visuals, just beginning to imagine these rainbow threads that have been spun into form from the cosmic layer in through the earth layer, entering through the crystal quartz. The crystal quartz representing the centrifuge, the opening of the stick, as we move dimensionally into your body and into your auric field, your toric field on the outside represented by the aura. And in the cellular level, every little strand of DNA. Go ahead and envision this center cord, this thread, much like the DNA in your body, but one massive helical strand of DNA rising up through the feet to the top of the mind, and then weaving its way as though we've taken a sock and then pulled it inside out, and we're about to push our hands through it. And so as we come, imagine coming up through the feet, through the celiac, spinning. The spin comes up and out and blossoms and flowers like a tree. You feel all of those rings on the inside, the layers of the tree, the layers within the temple, like Russian nesting dolls, and then shifting to the outside and feeling the branches, the threads woven in like blood vessels around the outside of you, flowering into creation and into existence. Don't try to make it a linear, right? Just let your mind observe what I'm describing, or let your body feel the sensation in the area I'm speaking about. Presence in yourself, here, now. Allowing yourself to be that tree, to feel the roots of the earth. Feel your roots extending now deep into the earth, intrinsically woven around. Feeling inside of you, again, like a Russian nesting doll now, into the crystal quartz, and feeling that core thread, like fiber optic cables, all spun together deep through your belly. And now feeling that cosmos with all those layers of clouds, of fabric, of light, like the aurora borealis, just hovering around, and where they get spun into form. And you on that pedestal now as this being, this vessel of creation, rising above the surface of the cosmos, much like you would rise above the surface of the ocean, and being flooded out by pure Metatronic ray, Metatronic light. Letting your vision flood out, letting the oceans of energy and light begin to pour through, as though the Great Mother has taken a pitcher of milk and just poured it and is filling this cup, this vessel. All of these different layers upon layers upon layers. You as the Metaraya, embracing the Metaraya. Noticing how the neural network of the cosmos, as it floods us in its light, begins to ping inside your mind. As though now, instead of just one orb or star like the sun, like an LED light turned on, infinite orbs of light of sun. Now, instead of just you breathing into your belly, an infinite expanse, circuitry, much like your nervous system, flowing through, and the vascular system, light pulsing through, until you become that full spectrum light ray, heaven and earth, Metatron and Metaraya, sovereign light, the highest expression of your sovereign light. Metatron gives us the power to choose. It is the supernal mind of God, of the Creator. Meta meaning highest, describer or descriptor, the highest. So like fruit is the meta for apples and oranges and grapes. Tron, the scales of balance. The tron is the scales of balance. It's the bar that holds the scales of balance. And so your mind able to observe and be. Metaraya, sovereignty. Meta, highest descriptor, highest choice, highest frequency, full spectrum, light ray. Raya, sovereign. Sovereign queen, the sovereign feminine, the Raya. What's fascinating is that I haven't made these names up. These names are given in the book of Enoch. And when we put them through the Latin translations and the lineage, they surface as these names from a time so far back. Enoch's story and journey, how the Metatron and its full spectrum light was given to us, the ultimate ascension and descension model. As you allow yourself to tune in here, I invite you to descend into your body with this full spectrum ray, allowing for the body as this energy comes up and through to ascend, the frequency to rise up. We're going to bring the consciousness back, allowing the consciousness and where we're observing the frequency to descend into the third dimensional realm. You guys have done brilliant. We have hit fourth, fifth, sixth, and even a little bit of a jump up into ninth dimensional realm. Allowing all of it to come together in coherence as you come into the body, wiggling the toes. Go ahead and roll the wrists in one direction and then back in the other. And all the way into the body. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Making the lips, relaxing the jaw, rolling the neck. We are here. We've made it. It's allowing the body to hold this full spectrum of light. You should feel, for my sensual people, like your heart is actually, for everyone, like your heart is completely burst open and there's just light as though you are a flame, right? Light just pouring through you. And then the physical body. We can toggle, right? We can toggle between frequency and form. You're landing new frequency. Like I said, this is new. This frequency hasn't been where we just went today. We went into the sacred timeline where, yes, like space and time don't exist, but we're coming out of the Kali Yuga, right? We're coming out of deep frequency. We are popping out, and we are about in the next 3 weeks to get hit with a massive blast of entirely new frequency. So again, the sun is going through a ton of solar flares, shift in Schumann resonance, which allows you to pop up and observe from a frequency perspective, much newer energy. Truly incredible. So it's why, if you could hear the bird at the beginning, why it was squawking so loud, right? It was giving us that welcome. It was attuning us in many ways. That was nature bringing us in. And if you didn't, then they're right too. I'm kind of glad because it was obnoxious. But the moment we hit Earth and the new frequency, and that came in, it left. We got to sail and to ride on this incredible light ray as the timelines. The Kali Yuga, the timelines were all split. Imagine multiple threads as we come out of the Kali Yuga, popping up above the cosmos, right? Above the galaxy. We've been down and under the galaxy. Now we're coming up above the galaxy, right? We're popping up above, and there is so much light, so much less density up here. Our bodies are learning, are being reprogrammed accordingly. Important for this light to come into physical form because the powers that be would love to keep us plugged in to the matrix, would love to keep our cells incapable of receiving this light frequency. You are the Metaraya. You are carrying timelines that are meant to spin into the collective, into the sacred timeline. Time exists everywhere, right? But it's much more like waves in the sacred space. It's not individual waves, right? It's one big ocean. It's not individual waves. And so with that, enjoy your new timeline. Choose differently. Think differently. Get outside the box when you're triggered and just look for the new. Oftentimes it's right there in front of you. Just have to be in the frequency where the new exists. And that is the gift of the Metaraya, because as humans, we are here to be the womb. We are here. Our bodies are the recording device, and we are here to land and to ground it into all things, into form, frequency into form. You are the supernal mind. You are the supernal room, light and creation. And with that, bringing your sense of inner vision back to match that. If you're out of vision, went a little long today. With that, namaste. So much love. And Lakesh Alakim. See you tomorrow.